Okay, here it goes, recording. Awesome. Welcome everybody to the call tonight. My name is Eric Johnson. I am so excited to be with you tonight. I'm the creator and CEO of Teamzy. How many of you have already used Teamzy or taken a look at it? Some of you. Some of you are like, why am I here? We'll find out in a second. So it's gonna be fun tonight. I guarantee you're gonna have some fun tonight. If you've never been on one of my trainings, you will say, wow, that was a great training at the end, I hope. What I wanna do is I'm gonna show you Teamzy, which is a software application. Okay, that's simple. It makes your life so easy. It'll help you track all of your business, do the right things with the right people without having to think or plan, and get it all done within an hour a day or less. Okay, so I'm going to show you that and how to set it up and how it works. You guys will love it. But before I jump into the software, I want to teach you just a little bit about the system that the software is based on, so you understand the philosophy and understand why we built this and how it's going to help you build your business. Make sense? So I'm going to share my screen really quick. Also, at the end, I will do a Q&A. So if you have questions that come up, hang out, and I promise I will answer all your questions. You'll be able to ask me anything. So this is what I want to talk to you guys about first. How to systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. Okay, that's a lot. I know it's a mouthful. I love long titles, so you know exactly what you're getting. How to systemize. So we're going to talk to you about how to create a simple system for your business. Okay, one that you can easily duplicate with team members. It's based on relationship marketing, which I'm going to teach you about now. And the idea is that you get it done in less than an hour. Power hour boss. You got it? Okay, just to kind of give you a little bit of my backstory. My background is not network marketing. I'm not a network marketing, one of those guys have been doing network marketing for 20 years. My background, however, is in business coaching and consulting. I've been a professional business coach 20 years, helping people build their business based on relationships, based on building relationships. I'm going to share some of that with you guys tonight. What happened in my life, and some of you guys probably relate to this, about 7 years ago or so, I started a side hustle. How many of you guys, your Pampered Chef business is a side hustle? Yeah, I started a side hustle. I wanted to make a little bit of extra money because I was doing great as a business consultant, but I'd kind of hit the top of my career. I really couldn't see how to grow it much more. And even though I was at the quote unquote top, I was like, man, I think we need some more income. Can you guys relate to that? Yeah. Here was the challenge though. I didn't know when I was going to build my business because I was so busy already. And here's a shot of the family. I've got 4 kids and an amazing wife, Lisa, who's my rock. And the challenge I already had was I already didn't see these people. I never got to see my family. At least I felt like I never did because I was always working. Right. And now I want to start a side hustle. So I need more time away from them. And that was a big challenge for me because the whole point of the side hustle was I want to be around my kids. I want to be around my wife. I don't want to miss their entire childhood. And I felt like that's where we were headed. Does this make sense? I'll never forget my daughter Grace, who's kind of hanging on my back there in this picture. When she was about 2, I would come home from work and my wife would try to hand her to me, and she didn't want to hug me, right? She didn't know me. And some of you guys probably experienced that maybe with your kids where they're used to being around you, and they're like, I don't want to go daddy right now. And that kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, man, something has to change. I need to figure out a different way of making income so that I can be with my family and be part of their lives. And so anyways, long story short, I knew I could do it. I knew network marketing was a way to do it. I just had to figure out how to get it done in less than an hour because that's all I had left. Make sense? So I started looking for tools, things that would help me leverage that time. They didn't exist, which is why I built Teamzy. I knew exactly what I needed to do because I'd been teaching other people to do it for years and years and years. And so we built Teamzy and launched it. And just kind of had no real plans for what Teamzy would do, but pretty quickly it outgrew my side hustle so much that I had to go full time with Teamzy. But just to kind of give you an idea of what's happened in just about 5 years since we launched Teamzy, we've had more than 150,000 network marketers use it, which is incredible. Humbling for me to even see that number. And just to kind of give you an idea of results, our users who are actively using Teamzy, they're averaging 21 new customers and 9 new recruits over 90 days, which isn't bad. Now think about this. If you guys can do what I'm going to show you tonight, and it will take you an hour a day or less, and you can do it consistently, those could be your numbers. Now take that 90 days and multiply. How many 90 days periods are there in a year? 4? So what is that? 84 new customers a year and um, 36 something recruits. That's a nice solid growth, isn't it? Nice solid growth. And if you can get your team to duplicate into the system I'm teaching you even faster, which is why you've all been invited here by Bethany. She's smart. I grew up in New Hampshire. Do we have any like New England people in this call? We got one. She's what we would say is she's wicked smart, right? All right. So let's keep going here. Let's get back to the topic at hand, which is relationship marketing. What is relationship marketing? First off, it's a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. It's a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. Have you guys run into people who are very skeptical about direct sales, who are like, oh gosh, you're doing one of those things now? Why do you think that people feel that way? I'll just answer it, even though you know the answer. It's because we've been taught to put the sale ahead of our relationship. We've been taught to go for it, right? And people feel used. They feel like there's targets on their back. We don't do that with relationship marketing. I'm just telling you guys right now, you're not going to have to feel like icky salespeople. We put the people first. That's an important piece of this. You got to put people first. The second piece is that it's not some abstract feel-good concept. This is a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. Yes. You're going to leave this call knowing what to do next. Who's excited for that? Yes. People hear the words relationship marketing and they're like, oh, we're going to just like hug and love on people. Not going to get any sales that way, Eric. It's not true. It's very effective. Okay. Also, I want you guys to understand relationship marketing is a lead generation system. A lead generation system. That's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. I know it's a mouthful. But you need to understand something. You're not employees of Pampered Chef. You're not sales representatives for them. You're business owners. True? And the first role of a business owner is to decide what lead generation, or should I say, which lead generation system. Do we have any school teachers on here? You guys can correct my grammar in the chats. Which lead generation system will you choose in your business? Because your business is lead generation. That's your business. As the owner of the business, your job is to generate new leads. You're in the lead generation business. And this is a mindset shift. I want you guys to have a mindset shift. Your job is to create leads for the business. And what does that mean? It means that you're initiating interest. You're initiating inquiry, just like that definition in front of us. Okay. Here's the good news though. Lead generation sounds so salesy, doesn't it? How many of you guys were like, okay, he's gone salesy on me? Okay, don't worry. We're going to bring it back. Here's the next principle I want you to get. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. So why do we generate leads? In other words, meet people. Well, we meet people so that we can develop and deepen relationships with them. Period. That's the business model. We're going to meet people and develop and deepen relationships with them. That's the goal of building our business. Now, why is this so important? Besides the fact that it's kind of the right thing to do, right? We're kind of designed to be in community with others. It's what makes us happiest. But here's what I want you guys to understand is that we build relationships because we turn relationships into advocates by investing time in providing outstanding service. We turn relationships into advocates by investing time in providing outstanding service. An advocate is somebody who's so excited about what you're doing, they tell other people about it. Make sense? And I want you guys to understand that people who say no to the business, or even people that say, no, I don't want to purchase any of your products, those people can still be built into advocates. They can still be telling other people about what you're doing and what. Does this make sense? Sometimes they become your biggest advocates. You just have to understand that you may not solve a problem they have, but they see the need for what you do and they'll share it with others. And we do this by building relationships. I'm just here to tell you guys this concept here, right here, this piece is big. I wish I had the whole night just to talk about this concept. Every other trainer in our business will tell you, message 99 people. One says yes, that's a win. Keep going. What happens to the other 98 people? You throw them away like dead bodies? No, some of those people will be your advocates, even though they said no. Does this make sense? So if you do this right and you don't alienate them and you don't damage relationships, you can continue building those relationships with people. Some people don't say no right away. How many of you guys didn't say no, I mean, some people don't say yes right away. How many of you guys didn't say yes right away? Isn't it a good thing that somebody didn't give up on you? All right, let's keep going. Next principle, relationship marketing depends on trust. Relationship marketing depends on trust. In other words, if you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. Okay? It's this system, what I'm teaching you will not work if you don't treat people right, if you do things that are disingenuous, if you try to be tricky, if you try to be manipulative. In other words, if you do all the things that we've been mostly taught in our industry to do. This is why people are like, ugh, network marketing. Why? Because the trust has been violated so many times. But here's the good news. Trust makes the work fun. If people trust you, you don't have to sell them or convince them. You get right to helping them. You get right to solving their problems for them, right? Trust removes the ickiness from the sales process. You will not be seen as an icky salesperson. How many of you guys are worried about being seen as an icky salesperson? I'm just telling you, that's one of my biggest fears. So I built a whole system around avoiding that, avoiding being icky and avoiding rejection. Can I get an amen? This system is the way you avoid rejection and avoid being icky. Also, you get to go for yes. The idea with trust is you go for yes. You're not going for rejections. You're not weeding through rejections till you get to a yes. We're building people up all the way along. Does this make sense? Okay, so how do you build trust? If we know that it all depends on trust, how do you actually do it? I'm going to give you guys some steps that you can take away today. Whether or not you use Teamzy, you will have this to apply in your business. There's 4 essential ingredients to building trust. 4 essential ingredients to building trust. Number 1 is chemistry. Okay, number 1 is chemistry. Number 2 is character. And I'll explain these out in a second. Number 2 is character. Number 3 is competence. Okay, competence. And number 4 is consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. Okay, great. I've been on Zooms all day, so I'm losing my voice. So bear with me, guys. You get rock and roll Eric today. It's a little huskier. All right. So let's talk about chemistry. Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Okay, chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Just a fundamental business principle. People want to do business with a friend. Think about a business where you go in and you feel like the owner is your friend. Do you guys have businesses like that? Maybe a local restaurant or store where you're not really friends with them. You could be, but you feel like you are. The way they treat you, it's your favorite place. People want to do business with a friend. You need to find common ground with people. You need to build rapport. The first thing we want to do to build trust is be likable, right? And the way we do this is to ask questions, be interested in people. Okay, when they ask a few questions, you find out what you have in common. We all have things in common with everybody. Number 2 is character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Okay, character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you are relatable. Now, really quick on this. I want you guys to notice that there's about this definition. It's a little different. See, because the thing is that you don't have character. We think of character as something we have, right? I'm a person of good character. But the truth is character is something you do. It's not something you have, something you do. And it doesn't matter that you've been a good person your whole life up till now. What matters is how are you showing me right now that you care? That's where your character lies. And this is so important. How many of you guys think it's important when choosing to do business with a company that you feel like they are a company of character? Or the owners are people of good character. Have you guys ever stopped doing business with a company or a person when you realized that they did not have character that you respected or believed in? Absolutely. This is huge, you guys. And I don't just mean like you're an honest person and you pay your taxes and you don't cheat your customers. Character is everything. It's showing care. It's what are you posting on social media? Is it for selfish delights, or are you posting to serve and benefit the people who are following you, right? How are you communicating with customers? Are you following up when you say you will? Are you keeping those little small promises in your business? And beyond your business, it's, how do you treat people out in the world? Are you polite and courteous to others? Are you a good tipper when you go out to places where people work on tips? Do you drive with courtesy for others on the highways? Do you return the shopping cart at Target? Sorry, some of these are just things I want to see better in the world. Right though? But this is it's all about 24/7, the character that you're demonstrating to others. People will get it. And this is, by the way, not only is it the way we all want to be. How many of you guys want to be somebody of good character? Yeah. So it doesn't happen by accident. It's a matter of being intentional, thinking about it, right? If you're maybe too aggressive as a driver, here's a little tip. I'm going to give you one tip, and you can apply this to all these places you want to improve in. If you find yourself a little bit aggressive when you drive, then put something on your car that will kind of shame you into being better, like, a statement of faith bumper sticker or something, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, I better not be a jerk because, right? I don't want to misrepresent something bigger than me. I'm kidding, but this actually works. My wife has a license plate frame that says, uh, her license plate is a vanity plate and it says faith, hope, and love, right? In symbols and letters. And so it says faith, hope, and love. And people pull up next to us all the time and say, love your license plate. So do you think we're going to cut people off on the highway in her car? We can't. So just think about ways that it can help you to really think about your character. It's huge. This is a huge piece of how we do business and how people will want to do business with you. Also building advocates. When somebody says, this is a person of character, you can do business with them, that carries a lot of weight with people. Number 3 is competence. Building trust. Competence. You have to be good at what you do, right? Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Why is there 2 pieces? The first piece is, hey, you want me to be your customer? First, I need to know you know what you're talking about. How can you help me? Can you solve the problems that I'm having? Are you an expert on your products? Do you understand how they work? Do you understand how right? Does it make sense? It's like when you go to a retail store and you ask the young person working there if they have this in this, do you have this in a size 6? And they're like, no, pretty much what's out is out. You know what that means, right? I'm too lazy to check for you, right? That's not competence. Competence is, yeah, let me check, knowing exactly what you're doing to help people. So the first piece of this is becoming an expert on the products, becoming an expert on how everything works, right? Using it yourself. How many of you guys like a good steak every once in a while? Anybody? Do I have any vegans on the call? Any vegans? Vegetarians? You guys ever have you guys ever had this experience? You go out to a nice restaurant and you're asking the server about the steak and they say, I'm a vegetarian, but I hear it's good. And you're like, oh, that's terrible, right? That's terrible. I don't believe you are competent in selling me this item because you have no clue what it's like, right? Which not it's just like a fun example, but the bottom line is you need to get in there and get your products and use them and be competent with them. Make sense? Understand how they work. That's the first piece. If you want me to be your customer, I need to trust that you're competent at this. And if I'm your cousin or your buddy and I've known you your whole life and I've seen you with your pants on backwards, it's going to take a while to show me that you've gained competence in a new area. True? Right? The second piece is, are you a business person? Why should I join your team and your business? Do I believe that you can competently mentor me to be successful? Right? How have you shown me that you are learning or that you are being successful in this business? And so it's really important with competence that we are showing people our journey, right? Hey, I just got this new product. It's amazing. This is how it works. You guys are doing demonstrations and live videos and stuff like that, right? To show people your competence. And the same thing for the business. When you hit those milestones, let people know, like, I'm excited. I bonus this month, or I want a free trip, or look at this cool, tote bag that the company gave me because I helped a couple people this month. Let people see that journey to competence. You don't have to be a 6-figure earner or a multi-million dollar person for people to follow you or to join you. They need to see that you're gaining in competence. Does this make sense? Now, the most important thing I will tell you, new people who feel like, well, I don't really have a story to tell in this yet, Eric, I'm brand new, or I haven't done much yet, is that you need to tell the team story. You need to talk about your upline. You need to tell their stories, right? Even if you've only met them on Zoom, you say, "Hey, I need to tell you about my friend Eric. Oh my gosh, the business he's built." You should see, tell the story, tell other people's stories, because people need to know when they join you, it's not just up to you. They're joining the team. They're joining a winning team. Does this make sense? But the most important piece about competence, guys, please, please, please do not ever fake it. Don't ever pretend to be something you're not, because people will smell it and they'll know they can't trust you, right? And if you're a jerk, it ain't going to work, right? So if you don't have the competence, work on building it. Ask people to help you. Find out who can mentor you, who can teach you. Go to other people's classes and demos. Learn as much as you can and talk about your team, right? Now, real quick before I jump to the fourth piece on this, which is consistency, I want to just give you a quick principle behind this. When people are going to do business with you, they really only care about three things, and they are these: can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Now, real quick, again, I could spend a whole day just on this topic. If somebody feels all three of these are yes, you've got an advocate. Building an army of advocates is the goal. If somebody feels like any one of these is no, they'll never do business with you. And they're likely to warn others from doing business with you. You guys know it's true because you've done it, right? You've done it. Now, if they're not sure, if they think maybe it's a yes, but they're not sure, they'll raise objections. You guys ever get objections? Yeah. So an objection just means they don't know yet if they can trust you 100% or that you care about them or that you're really good at what you do. They're not sure. Okay. The objection is a way for you to let them know that it's a yes. So that's why we get really good at helping people through their objections. Objections are a good thing, but it means that we don't have a full trusting relationship yet, and that's okay. We're going to get there. I'm going to teach you guys tonight how to build those relationships. But just understand these things: chemistry, character, competence. Number 4 is consistency. Consistency. Yep, you got to do stuff consistently. Who do you trust more? The guy gets up here and says, "Trust me," or the person that you've known for 10 years who's come through every time? It's all about consistency, right? It's all about consistency. And I love this principle, which is that people respect consistency and desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. This just means that everybody wants to be consistent. And we all feel like we're not, don't we? We all kind of feel like we're not. So we want to be around other people who are. We're drawn to people like that. We respect them. Sometimes we say that they're inspiring. Some of you may have been told you're an inspiration. Usually it's consistency that inspires. Wow, it's inspiring. Make sense? So consistency is how you build trust, and it builds your team because people want to be part of a team full of consistent people. Are you with me? Now, real quick, let's just talk about consistency, and then we'll jump into Teamzy in a second. But just talking about consistency really quick. How many of you guys love your product? I mean, just love them. You've got them. You use them, right? And people know you use them, right? You're showing them off. You're demonstrating them, letting people know what you're doing. Great. You got to be consistent product to your product, right? How many of you are consistent on social media, sharing your journey, sharing what's going on, consistently connecting with people through social? Are you guys doing that? It's important. I will let you in on a business secret. There's very few businesses who have been successful without telling other people that they're in business. It's hard to have a secret business. Okay. But the real important question, the reason we're all here tonight is, are you as consistent with your relationships? This is where the rubber meets the road, as they say. Are you as consistent with your relationships? Because it's easy to post on social media, but are you consistently staying in touch with people? Okay. Now, that is the most important thing we can do in this business to be successful, is to be in touch with people, because relationship building is a contact sport. And if we want to have a relationship, we have to be in regular contact with people. Okay. And I know your time is scarce, which is why Teamzy is going to help you do it in no time at all. But you need to understand this principle. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. This system is about deepening relationships. Deepening relationships deepens trust, which makes people more likely to do business with you, join your team, and introduce you to all their friends. Make sense? Investing time connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Now, real quick on this, just give you a quick example before I jump into Teamzy. Let me just see your faces. If you guys are decent, turn your cameras on so I can see you for a second. She's laughing. I've had people naked on these Zooms. Yeah, it happens, right? It happens. Usually not an attendee, but like the husband will walk by after taking a shower in the back of the bedroom or something. That actually happened on one Zoom, where I just went, did that just happen? All right, just real quick. How many of you have ever received a great, like a great card or letter from somebody you love that had a handwritten message in it? When you read it, it was like, oh gosh. Right. Morgan's like, I have, right? You guys know what I'm talking about, that feeling in your heart where you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm so touched by this. So hopefully everybody has received at least a couple of those in your life. The next question I have is, did you keep it? Did you save it? How many of you guys have a stash somewhere? A couple of people, almost everybody saves them, right? You've got a special stash where you've kept these special letters. You know what's amazing about these is the value they have. When we pass on, often our family will treasure those letters and cards more than, the valuables, right? It has staying power. Now, just to kind of give you another example, this is a happy birthday postcard that I received from my life insurance salesperson. Have you guys ever received a postcard like this on your birthday from a business? Or, yeah, everybody has, right? How many of you kept this in the special place with this, right? Nobody keeps this. It's kind of nice, and you toss it. I mean, we actually have bins in our garage for each of our 4 children, right? With all their special things saved in it. Like, we keep these things. I have one that's just cards from my wife, just to remind me on days where she might be a little irritated with me that she loves me. I'll go read those cards again. This we don't save. Now, let's just talk about this for a second, because that principle I just taught you guys, if you want to deepen relationship, you need to invest time and connect personally with somebody. Now, the reason why a postcard like this is tossed is because it does neither of those things. This required no investment of time, so we put no value on it when we receive it. Make sense? Also, this is not personal. It's impersonal. It's a bulk mail out. In fact, it doesn't even have my name on it. It just says, here's to another great year of you. So it's kind of like, wait, is this for me or is this for Lisa? I don't know whose birthday card this is, actually looking at it. It's impersonal. Impersonal, required no time. We do not value it. So how do you deepen a relationship? We make it personal and we invest time. And when that happens, people go, wow, for me, that means a lot. Does this make sense? Now, you don't have to sit down and write heartfelt cards to people every day to build this business. However, if you can think of a reason to write somebody a card, you should, because they'll likely keep it forever. Pretty amazing, isn't it? But just sending somebody a message, a quick message, a text, a message on Messenger, Instagram, personal to them from you, it's enough to make people's day. And I'm going to explain to you guys in a second how with Teamzy, you make enough people's day, you build a business. Does this make sense? All right. So just keep that in mind, because a lot of people are out there selling automated marketing. This is what automated marketing feels like on the receiving end. And you guys get it all day long. Impersonal, no investment of time, low value, right? Okay. Where are we? Oh, I think I'm done with my keynote. No, I have one more slide. Okay, so you guys got that concept. This is all great. Good. How many of you guys are down with the philosophy? Relationship marketing sounds great. I'm in. I got the same heart. Let's do this. But it's more than philosophy. You need a system. You need a way to stay in contact with all of your relationships and do it regularly, right? You need to know when to contact people so that you're not spending all day going, who should I message? How many of you guys have done that? Yeah, you need a system. You need to know what you're going to say. Or you'll end up like I was, where I would stare at the screen for an hour going, what am I going to message this person? And then getting nothing done. And make sure that nobody falls through the cracks, right? Make sure that nobody falls through the cracks. Okay, real quick, let's dive into Teamzy. Now, first off, I think I'm logged in here. First off, if you guys have not used Teamzy, you can go to teamzy.com and start a free trial. Okay. And there's a special version for Pampered Chef. And once you log into the free trial, and by the way, the free trial, we don't ask you for your credit card or anything like that. Okay. You can go in there, you can say your name is Mickey Mouse and start a free trial. I don't care. I want you to be able to go in and use it, right? Just so you guys know, that's just how we do business. Do the free trial, love it. And then at the end, we'll ask you, hey, do you want to keep going? You can now set up a subscription if you like. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you. Here you go. So once you've logged into your free trial, this will be the first page, and it takes you through a setup wizard that makes it very easy to set up Teamzy. Now, some of you guys may have used a CRM software at work, perhaps. Maybe you still do. You know, they're typically really complicated and annoying. So we've made this very easy to use. Okay, so you could go through and you just, page through. So there's a little video for me. We'll skip it. And then the first thing really I want you to look at in the setup wizard is your income goal. What's your income goal? How much income would you like to make from your business? Are you looking to just make a little extra? Do you want to replace your income? How many of you guys would like to replace an income or retire a spouse? Things like that. Yeah, right? So how much do you need to make that happen? Set your goal. Now, just to kind of give you guys an idea, when I first did this, I set my goal at 150,000. So you can put this wherever you want it. Okay. I set my goal at 150,000. That was the income I wanted to replace. Now, this goal is, what income level would you like to be at 12 months from now? Okay. So 12 months from now, working Teamzy 5 days a week, where do you want to be? So I put it at 150,000. Now you can see what happens when I move this is it changes my daily connect numbers on the top. So back at 150, now I'm going to connect with 9 prospects a day, 6 customers, and 4 consultants. That's my daily target for connecting with people. And I'll show you guys what I mean by that. But if I want to make my goal bigger, I have to do more of that. And if I want to make it smaller, I need to do less. Make sense? So you know exactly what to do. There's no mystery to this. How do you get to a 6-figure income? There's no mystery to it, you guys. It's exactly this. Look, how many of you guys want to do 6 figures? Anybody, that's your goal? Great. So let's make it 6 figures. I'll make it straight up 100,000. If I can get it, there it is. There's no mystery. It's reaching out to 13 people a day. 6, 4, and 3. That's it. Consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. Can you imagine what it would be like if you did this every day for a year? All right, let's continue. I'll show you how this works. Next step, we're going to get all your contacts into Teamzy. Teamzy is cloud-based, which means you always have access to it. Your phone, your computer, your iPad, whatever, you can get to your Teamzy, which means you don't have to have sticky notes anymore, pads of paper with things, napkins where you've written down someone's number. Some of you guys are laughing because I got you right between the eyes. Digging through your phone is just as bad. Where is that? Where did I stash that? What app do I know that person in? We get them all in Teamzy in one place, organized. You can't build a business that's big if you're feeling disorganized. But the thing that's cool about it, and that includes your Facebook friends, your Instagram followers, you get them all into Teamzy. What's cool about this, you guys, is besides having them in one place, Teamzy, I'll show you, has a special algorithm that cycles everybody through your power hour so that you don't miss anybody. Nobody falls through the cracks, which is pretty cool. Okay, so now we're going to launch our Teamzy. We've got it all set up. And I'm just going to give you just a quick tour of Teamzy real quick. Here's my dashboard, and it scrolls down a little bit. So first off, I want you to see this area here where it says today's activities. Do you guys see that? This is what I need to do today. So again, my goal, we set a goal for 6 figures. So I need to connect with 6 prospects today, 4 customers, and 3 consultants. So that's, what did we say that is? 13 people. And I'll show you guys how to do that in a second. We've also got a goal to share, to do some shares. And what do I mean by shares? That's when I'm sharing a product solution for somebody, with somebody, right? Like they need something. I'm gonna show them a great product solution for that. Or maybe I'm sharing the business opportunity with somebody. Those are shares, those 2 things. Okay. If you guys have a party or a class and you have 5 people come to the class, That's 5 shares you get to log, right? Because you share it. Make sense? Okay. And then you've got ads. That's a goal, just to add new people to Teamzy. Meeting new people. Maybe it's people I hadn't thought of, I already know, or meeting new people on social media, or out and about. We're starting to get out and about again, right? Actually meet new people again. I want to add them to Teamzy. When you run into somebody, having a conversation at an event or in the church parking lot, and you don't have to remember, you can pull out your phone and you can add them to Teamzy right then. Pretty cool, right? And then you have it in there. You can set your follow-ups. Everything's good to go. So those are my daily activities. Now, just real quick on this concept. How many of you would like to build a big business? Okay, everybody's saying yes. That's good. So if you want to build a big business, you must have a focus that's small. If you want to have a big business, you must have a focus that's small. In other words, what can you do today? Make sense? And so that's why we focus you in Teamzy just on today's activities. You set the $100,000 goal. Great. Now here's what you need to do today. Now, real quick on this, what do I mean by connect with a prospect, customer, or consultant? I want you to reach out to people and connect just to make their day. Okay. And what we call it at Teamzy is the make someone's day mindset. I want you to live in the make someone's day mindset. A power hour is making people's day. Why are we going to do that? First of all, it's going to feel amazing. You guys are going to love this process. Rather than cold messaging people and dealing with rejection all the time, how many of you guys have enjoyed that? Some people do. About 3%. About 3% of people enjoy that, right? And those are always the people on stage at conventions going, you just got to go for no, guys. There's only 3% of the people wired that way. The rest of people, everyone else is wired like me. I hate rejection. So here's the thing. We're going to make people's day, because what happens is when we lift people up and make their day and reach out, they're very likely to respond. And what this does is it starts conversations. It starts conversations. My wife does this effortlessly when we're out and about. She'll walk up, and I noticed women can do this with each other better than guys, but she'll walk up to a stranger and say, "I love your shoes," right? And then that person is suddenly, now they're having conversation. It's like it started a conversation instantly. Have you guys noticed when people do that? Well, we're going to do that on social media. We're going to do that via text message. We're going to, not to tell them we like their shoes, we're going to make their day, and they'll respond. When we create conversations, we create opportunities. Does this make sense? So let me show you how to do it. I'm just going to take you through. Pretend you've got Teamzy, you're set up, you've got your contacts in there, and now we're going to actually do a power hour. Now let me show you how this works. First off, all my contacts are in Teamzy. Like if I go over here to the team page, you'll see I've got 1,000 contacts in here. I know all their information, names of their dogs, spouses, all of our conversations. All of that is logged in here, which is kind of boring but important, right? Boring but important stuff. But when I go to the dashboard and go to this spot right here where it says Power Hour, I know exactly what I need to do. It's not a mystery. I'm going to do my Power Hour. So let me show you how this works. There's 4 lists in the Power Hour: prospects, customers, consultants, and my follow-ups. Okay. On the right-hand side is where I actually log the message I send, so it's tracked. Okay. So I start from left to right. I'm going to start with prospects. Remember, my goal is to do 6. So Bethany is my first prospect on my list today. So I'm going to send her a message. My goal is to, remember my goal? Make her day. Just to make her day. Now, what do you say? How many of you guys would get stuck on what to message? So it's all good. It's all good, Morgan. I got you covered. When we launched Teamzy, I figured people know what to do. They just need something to help them do it. And then everybody started messaging me saying, I love your training. How do I learn how to talk like you? How do I send those messages? And I was like, oh, I guess I have done this for years and years and years and have refined it. So I put all my scripts into Teamzy for you. Okay. These are going to be different than what you're used to as scripts, because they're not salesy scripts. They're just connecting scripts. So when I go to reach out to Bethany, rather than overthinking, I'm going to click on scripts. See right there? And I'm going to message her on Facebook because we're Facebook buddies. So I'm going to click on there. And then I can just pick a script. Now I'm going to just pick the first one, number 1. And here's how it reads if you can't see it. It says, hi, Jane. Just stopping by to say hello. How are you? I hope your day is awesome. It's so simple, guys. It's so simple. So I'm going to click on copy script. Now check this out. I'll paste it in Teamzy so I can do my editing before I send it. Obviously, her name is not Jane. So change the name. Okay, that only took me how long? A second. And I'm just waiting for my computer to catch up with me so I can put some emojis in here. Okay. You guys know that wait, I don't want to send that one. I actually, I did one of these one time and somebody said to me, why did you send her heart eyes? Is she your wife? What are you trying to, and I was like, I just grabbed an emoji. It's just a demo, you guys. Okay. So look, however you want to like dress up this script, don't overdo it, but just, personalize it a little bit. Little pro tip on this, always use the first name in your first message every time you start a new conversation. Okay. Remember, it has to be personalized. And if you say, hey girl, or hey sweetie, they just think it's a generic. Make sense? So personalize it how you want it. But now that I have it the way I want it, look, I'm going to copy this and go send it in Facebook. So I've got Facebook open right here. I'm just going to look her up. There she is. And I'm going to send her this message. Okay. So I just pasted it in there. There it is, and hit send. It's really, really don't overthink it. Don't get stuck on the page. You don't need to read all of her last 10 posts before you send it. It's just a hello message. Make sense? Because she might not respond. And then I wasted all that time. So now we're going to finish logging, and I just toggled back to Teamzy. So what kind of activity was it? It was a Facebook message. The big blue button that says log connect. That's how you do it. Click it. So she's logged. Now look at this. Watch. She's gone off my list, and the list has now slid up. Okay, so the bottom person is a new person now. And you can see I've got 1 done, 5 left. So the next person on my list is Jay. I'm going to message her. Now, I'm just going to use that same script. It's still on my clipboard. Just paste it again. Change the name to Jay. Only takes a second. Do you guys see how quick this is? Even with copying and pasting, which you have to do for Facebook because they don't let you integrate with them with Messenger like that, no big deal. It's super fast. So we're going to look up Jay. There she is. Okay, we'll close out Bethany here. Send Jay a message. Okay, I send Jay that message. Great. Now we toggle back over to Teamzy and log it. Do you guys see how I could do these 13 messages really quickly? So the first half of my power hour is just sending out messages just to make people stay. So I would just cruise down this list. Probably the first time you go through your whole list, just use the same script, change the name. Guys, you don't need to overthink it. Okay. People aren't going to go, hi, Eric said hi to me today. Oh, Eric said hi to me today too. What exactly did he say in his message? Let's compare it. It's just a hi message. Are you guys with me? Okay. So we're going to go down our prospects list until this blue circle's all the way filled in. That's your visual cue that today's goal is met. And then I go to the next list, which is customers. Now, this is so important. Do the exact same thing with customers. Don't overthink it. So Darlene comes up. I want to send her a message. I'll go to scripts. Now, the scripts will be different because it's customers now. When you click on scripts, you'll see they're different scripts. Some of them are here. Some of them are the same, which is, stopping by to say hello. But you've also got some cool customer ones like, hi, John, how are you enjoying the products? Now, take out the word the products, by the way, and put in what he's actually using. Okay, pro tip. That's a placeholder. But how are you enjoying it, right? How are you enjoying I got to think of I have a bunch of Pampered Chef stuff that I love. How are you enjoying your bakeware, right? I love Pampered Chef bakeware. It's awesome. How are you enjoying it? Please send me an update. Let me know how I could be of help. This is a great way to check in with customers, even if it's been years. How many of you guys have been doing this for years and there's people you haven't talked to? A couple of you? No? Yeah, you can send them this message and re-engage them. I love this one too. Hey, just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. You don't need a good reason. You just want to be in touch. Now, again, super easy. You copy the script, you go in here, you send the message, okay, paste it in there. I'm actually adding a step. You could go straight to Facebook and paste it and do the editing there, but I do it here because I have sent it with the wrong name a few hundred times. I sent the hi Jane to people. It's not a big deal because they usually laugh at you and then they're responding and you're having a conversation, but it's better, right? So anyways, same idea. You're going to send the messages to your customers. Now, real quick on this, do you guys see how easy this is? So you just keep going down, you send those messages. And when you're done with the customers for the day, this pink circle will be filled in and customer connects are done and you go to consultants. You with me? Now, real quick, before I move on, let me just talk to you about how important it is to re-engage some of those customers, even if they haven't ordered in ages, and connect with them. Or the ones who have recently ordered, even better to stay in touch with them. Because when we are in regular contact with customers, they order more product and they retain longer. Okay. When you're in regular contact with customers, this is a statistical fact across all businesses. If you're in regular contact with customers, they order more product, they retain longer. You don't have to have some fancy sales script. You just be like, hey, how you doing today? How the heck's, right? I saw your post today. You got a new car. Congratulations. How exciting. Oh, you got a new puppy. Okay. Whatever. Just sending somebody a message, staying in touch with them means all the difference. Because they'll think of Pampered Chef every time they talk to you. Does this make sense? And they end up ordering more product. It's kind of like going to an amazing restaurant. And when the server comes by and checks on you, you having a great time? How's everything tasting? You doing great? It's like you're likely to go, everything is great. And you know what? Bring me another glass of wine. I'm having a great time. Can you, yeah, we want to see that dessert menu. It's like you're having such a great experience that you want to add to it. Make sense? So if you want an easy way to increase sales volume across the whole team, get everybody connecting regularly with their customers, it's huge. The other piece is, how many of you guys have at least one customer that you just love? Like, oh my gosh, if I could get 100 more like you, I'd be done. Yeah? How do you find those people? How do you find more people like that? Okay, so I'm going to teach you the basic concept. Some of you are going to be like, duh, I knew that, but it's all good. The truest things are the simplest, aren't they? The best place to find a great customer is from a great customer, right? It's the best place to find a great customer is from a great customer. So if you've already got somebody like that, most of you raise your hands, which is great. Now the question is, how do you get them to introduce you to their friends? Well, first off, you have to have a relationship. So that's being in touch, serving them, being in touch, right? But then, and when you're in touch with somebody and you're regularly messaging and you're regularly connecting, it's very easy to say something like, hey, Morgan, I know you've been really loving all the products, and I've been loving watching you on Instagram making new things with your all the amazing supplies you got. And before I get too busy this week, I just wanted to know, do you have any friends or family? I'm sure you've been talking about all this stuff that you've been doing. I mean, do you have any friends or family this month who need more information on Pampered Chef? Before my calendar fills up, I want to make sure I check in with you first because you're my favorite customer and I want to take care of your people first. And she's going to go, well, yeah, I mean, I was talking to Linda the other day and she's kind of curious about this. Perfect. Would you mind introducing me to her and I'll get her some more info? Okay. Whatever's easiest, group chat on Facebook or text message, whatever's easiest for you, and I'll get her some more info. Does it make sense, you guys? This is how you grow your business. But not only do you grow your business, when I talk to Linda, when Morgan says, Linda, this is Eric, guess what? Linda automatically trusts me. I don't have to start from scratch building that relationship. She trusts me because Morgan trusts me and she trusts Morgan. Getting introduced means they've given their trust to their friend. So if I go on Instagram to meet a total stranger and I have to start from zero building that relationship, or if I'm in a Facebook group, and I'm meeting people from zero, I'm starting at zero. It's going to take me a while to build that relationship. If a customer who loves me, who loves Pampered Chef, introduces me to a friend, I'm not starting at zero. I'm at the finish line. Does it make sense? I'm at the finish line already. Now, what happens when Morgan introduces me to two of her friends and both are interested? What do I do? Do I just take those customers and run? No, I connect with Morgan and say, thank you so much for introducing me to your friends. They're both really interested. We're going to talk a little bit more, whatever. But before I put these orders through, have you ever thought of doing what I'm doing? Because you just effortlessly added two people to my business. Are you guys with me? Not only is your best customer is the best source for a new customer, they are also the best prospect to become a new consultant. Make sense? It starts with being in consistent contact with them. And you never know who's going to be amazing and want to build this business. It's usually the ones you don't think of, right? So just message them, taking 2 seconds once every 2 or 3 months to send a message to connect with a customer. You'd be amazed what it does for your business. All right, so real quick, jumping back in. So we connect with our prospects and our customers. The last list are consultants on our team, and it's the exact same thing. When your consultants come up on Teamzy, you send them a little message. Thinking about you today, how's everything going, right? Just connecting with people to make their day. This is so important Because people join and quit the business like crazy, don't they? The turnover rate is unfortunately very high in our business. And the number one way to help reduce turnover on your team is by having a personal relationship with them. And even if you're like, gosh, I don't really know how to build a relationship, I'm telling you guys, just regularly messaging does it. How's everything going? How's everything? Are you using your equipment? Like, what's going on with you? Or you can just use my scripts. Check it in to see if I can make your day. Staying in touch with your consultants. Now, if you've got a handful of consultants, this part's easy. You'll be done quick, right? But we want your team to grow big, don't we? We want it to be so that you couldn't manage that list without Teamzy. Make sense? By the way, this is why we named it Teamzy, because it's about building the team. It's about building that culture and that connection to the team that really drives the business, right? So prospects, customers, consultants, that's the first half of your power hour. Now, in our example, it was 13 messages. How many of you guys think you could manage to send 13 messages if we tell you who to send it to, we tell you what to send? How many of you think you can do that in 30 minutes? Totally. So the first half of your power hour, maybe a lot less than a half, is sending out messages to your customers, to your prospects, customers, and consultants. Okay. And you fire those messages out, and then people will start responding. Now, don't respond to the messages yet. Get everything out first. Okay. Now we're going to go to the second half of our power hour, which is our follow-ups list. Now, just really quick on this, you guys. When I'm connecting with somebody, I don't have to set a follow-up with them. Like I sent Bethany a message, right? Let's say she doesn't respond. I don't need to put her on my follow-ups list, because in Teamzy, she cycles back automatically. So if she's a 5-star rated person in Teamzy, she'll come back every 30 days on my list. I don't have to set a follow-up. She just comes back every 30 days. Nobody can fall through the cracks. If she's a 4-star rated person, she comes back every 60 days. If she's a 3-star rated person, which most of your list will be 3 stars, she'll come back every 90 days. Does this make sense? So she's already going to come back. I don't need to set a follow-up. So when do I set follow-ups? The best time to set a follow-up with somebody is after a share. After a share. Okay? So I've had a conversation, or maybe I've had a presentation and she's seen it, right? Now I'm going to follow up with her. Are you guys with me? So let me just give you an example. So she and I are chatting. I message her, she responds. We're just having a chat. How's life? How's everything going? How are, talking about the weather in San Diego? I don't know. Like we did at the beginning of this call, just chit-chatting and having a conversation and finding out what's going on. And what happens is when you have a conversation, you have opportunities to get to talk more and more and more. Now, I'll just kind of give you guys the simplest way to do this is be interested in people and ask them to give you an update on their life. Like, what have you been up to since we last talked? Tell me what you've been up to. Send me an update. Tell me what you've been up to. And so people will tell you, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that, lockdown, kids in school. How many of you guys have kids back in school? Oh, you're so lucky. Our kids aren't back in school yet. They're still running around. I'm in California. We'll be the last ones to go back to school. But, just talking, people will tell you what's going on in their lives. And what happens is when somebody has told you what's going on in their life, it's really natural now for you to tell them, well, here's what's going on in my life, right? And so tell them now, oh, well, here's what's going on in my life. Here's what we've been up to. Okay. And just be normal and natural and talk about it. And part of what's going on in your life, like one of the things you always talk about is work, right? So this time, instead of talking about work, talk about your business. Did I tell you I started my own home-based business? It's been awesome. Especially during the pandemic. It's been great. It's been another piece of income, and I found I really love doing it, and it's been awesome. Are you guys with me? It's totally natural. Not because I want you to buy something right now. I'm just telling you what's going on in my life. Have you ever heard of Pampered Chef? That's the company I partnered with. Oh yeah, they're awesome. What's funny is I had a call this morning, you guys, actually this afternoon with the Teamzy leadership team. And I said, yeah, I have a team call tonight with the Pampered Chef team. And my chief, I call him computer nerd. He does the programming for Teamzy. He goes, oh, Pampered Chef is awesome. He goes, I have stuff that's like 20 years old, Pampered Chef. That's a pretty good brand recognition because this guy is not enthusiastic about much other than computer stuff, right? So just so you guys know, so have you ever heard of Pampered Chef? Most people have. Oh yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah, it's been great. It's awesome. So yeah, and I found it's really fulfilling. And tell people what you do. Tell people what you do. Don't beat around the bush. Tell people what you do. I do Pampered Chef. Okay. Just telling you right now. Other trainers will tell you not to do that. It's disingenuous. Tell them what you do, but why you're also tell them why you're passionate about it. Why are you passionate about it? What's exciting about it for you? Right? Tell them why you're passionate about it because people always respond, wow, cool, good for you. That's awesome. How many of you guys wish you could go back in time and everybody that you told about your Pampered Chef business would go, wow, cool, that's awesome. If you do it this way, that's the response you get. And then people always ask me, Eric, how do I take it from that conversation to like talk about the business? Or it's easy, guys. You just say, yeah, just if you'd like to learn more about it at any point, just let me know. If you'd ever like more information, let me know. I'm here to tell you guys, most people, the first time you talk to them, they don't want to talk to you about your business and they don't want to be sold. Does this make sense? But it's okay. Having this great conversation and setting the stage for the fact that you have this business and you're passionate about it, they feel comfortable talking to you about it. It's setting the stage. Does this make sense? But you'll be surprised because of what you guys represent in the brand, how many people will go, I'm glad to know you sell that. There's some things I've been wanting to get. It'll happen a lot, right? So that's going to happen more than you think. Okay, perfect. Well, yeah. If anytime you want to talk about it in your messaging, right? Like we can jump on the call or whatever, or we can go through what you're looking for, and I can put together something for you, right? So we can get into it. So just giving you my example, Bethany and I are having this conversation. Great. It's really nice. I tell her, about my business. She's like, that's cool. And I say, yeah, let me know if you'd ever like to learn more about it. And maybe she asks me a question like, are you really making money doing that? I used to get that question all the time. Are you really making money doing that? And I know there's rules against what you can tell people in those situations, but I used to say, well, it pays my mortgage. Right? So that was my thing was it pays my mortgage. It pays my mortgage. Oh, really? Cool. Yeah. I mean, if you, Bethany, sounds like, I mean, do you want to, we can set up jump on a 5-minute call and we can talk a little bit more about what any goals you might have. Maybe it's something I can help with. Okay, great. So let's say she says, great, we're going to talk. Yeah, I can talk for 5 minutes and just kind of feel it out a little. Perfect. So I would usually say, I'm going to send you a Zoom link, right? I'll just click on this link so we can talk face to face. So let's just pretend in this example, Bethany and I are now going to have a quick conversation on Zoom. And I've told her it's only going to be 5 minutes. And I'm just going to kind of share this opportunity with her briefly and see where she's at with it, right? Of course, they'll always end up talking to you way more than 5 minutes, but if that's all they have, great. At least you've connected, right? So I get her on Zoom. My goal on this, I think I'm over delivering, Bethany, on the training. Is that okay? We're giving a little extra to your team. So my goal on the Zoom is I'm going to ask a bunch of questions, and I highly recommend. And bootcamp, I teach people this more depth, but have a list of questions you're going to ask. What kind of goals do you have? You seemed kind of interested in the business opportunity. Is there anything specific that you want to do? Is there anything you're saving for? Like ask questions, find out what their goals are, right? And the idea here is that once you've got a good picture for what they're hoping to achieve, you can now offer them a solution to that, right? I think I can help you with this, Bethany. Let me explain to you how this works. Does this make sense? So I've had this great conversation with her. She seems really interested. She's like, wow, I really think I'm going to give this a shot. Perfect. How do I sign up? Perfect. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to send you this email right now with everything you need to sign up and get signed up. She's like, perfect. Send it to me. I'm going to do it right now. How many of you guys had people say, I'm going to do it right now? I'm going to sign up right now. This is where you need to put her on the follow-ups list. Why? Why do we need to put her on the follow-ups list now? She's going to do it right now, right? Because maybe 20% of people will actually sign up when they say they're going to. Have you guys found that to be true? 80% of sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. 80% of sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. So she's like, I'm going to sign up right now. Okay, great. I'm going to put you on my follow-ups list. I'll follow up with you tomorrow just to see if you have any questions. Sound good? Yeah, perfect. Why do I need to follow up tomorrow? Because I know the chances are high that she's going to get off the Zoom with me and get distracted by her life, right? It's like literally 5 minutes before this call, my son Cruz comes in and says, Grace is crying in my room. So I'm like, I go in there. She's laying on the floor doing her fake cry, which is the daddy come to me cry. Why are you crying? Nora just came in and jumped on me. And I go, where's Nora? And then I find Nora's hiding in the closet from me because she knows she did some. So this is like my life, right? So picture, how many of you guys like can relate to that moment? What happened in that moment? You absolutely forgot about signing up for Pampered Chef, right? It's not because they don't like you, because they don't have money, because they're not interested. It's because that's what happens. So we put them on the follow-ups list. So let me just show you what happens. I'm going to come in here first. I'm going to look up Bethany in the lookup bar at the top because she's not on my dashboard anymore because I already connected with her. That brings me to her contact record where I can open up the connect box, and I'm going to log that we had a great video chat. I'm going to put the notes from our Zoom in here. And then I'm going to click on share right here and log a share. So this was a business opportunity share. Great. And you can see it's set a follow-up for me in 2 days. Now I'm going to click on that and change it to tomorrow and then log it. So now it's logged the share. You can see here it is. It logged the share and it set the follow-up. So if I go to the dashboard real quick and look at my follow-ups list, now I have Bethany set for tomorrow. So the second half of my power hour is after I've connected with prospects, customers, and consultants, is to see if I have any follow-ups that are due today. Now you do a follow-up the same way, you just send them a message. So I'll go to scripts and I'm gonna get a follow-up. Follow-up number 1, hi Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? Great. So I'll use that follow-up script. Guys, I've made this really easy for you. 80% of sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. I put 10 follow-ups numbered 1 through 10 in Teamzy for you to use, okay? 20 years of refinement on these scripts. You guys with me? So easy. Change the name. Boom. Toggle over here. Great. Look up Bethany. There she is. Send her the message. Follow up sent. Toggle back to Teamzy. And when I log this follow up in Teamzy, what happens is Teamzy is going to go, does that complete the follow up you set? Yes, it does. And I'm going to add a new follow up, which now maybe I'll follow up on Friday again. Okay. And I'll create it. And then when I complete this, you can see now in my follow-ups list, it's due Friday. Make sense? This is how it works. You get all your contacts in here. You start making people stay, having conversations. Some of those conversations will lead to a share. Put those on your follow-ups list. If I connected with 20 people a day and did 3 shares a day, by Friday, I'd have 15 people on my follow-ups list. Now, when you start Teamzy your first week, you might not get any shares. It might just be all make your day messages. It might take you a couple weeks before those first conversations get to the share moment. Make sense? So don't beat yourselves up in the beginning if you're not getting shares. I don't want you to share just because you want to hit the numbers on the dashboard. You want to share when it's appropriate, right? When you've gotten to the conversation point. But if you're consistently creating conversations, you will be consistently sharing, and you will find over time that you've got that follow-ups list is like 30 minutes of your power hour, right? So you've got that follow-ups list hitting, and every single month, people on that follow-ups list are converting, and that's how you consistently grow the business. Does this make sense? It's a system. It's a system where you can feel really good about what you're doing. You're building people up. You're loving on people. You're having fun doing your power hours. There's no heavy rejection risk, right? And you're just consistently building the business. New people come in, join the business. You show them, like, I got a real simple system. It's called Teamzy. Here's how you plug in. You can try it for free and get started. The first couple of weeks of the business, we can rock and roll and you don't pay a dime. Make sense? And that's how it works. That's why people love Teamzy. That's why people in all kinds of different businesses are using it, because it's not cheesy or salesy. It's real. It's about loving on people, serving people with integrity, not having to pretend to be something else, not having to trick people into presentations, right? You don't have to do any of that weird stuff. You don't have to pretend you don't do Pampered Chef till the last minute and then tell them what it is. You can tell them right up front. Be proud of it. Does it make sense? It was about 5 years ago that people started talking about hiding your business until you build intrigue first. And I'm like, why would you hide the things you're not proud of? Make sense? So, I mean, if I was you guys, I would have Pampered Chef t-shirts that I'm wearing to the store. Like, do you guys have those? Yes. Be proud of what you do. People think I'm a total dork because I have a jacket with Teamzy engraved on it. I have baseball hats with Teamzy engraved, and I'll go to the store and Lisa's like, "Are you going to wear the hat and the jacket?" Like, yeah, I am. I'm proud of it. Right? My company. What is that Teamzy thing that's all over you? It's my company. Look, it's on my wall. I'm proud of it, right? So be proud. So that's kind of how it works. Now, there's so much more I can show you, but I know I've already overdone my time. If you guys have questions, I want to give you a chance to ask questions. So what you do is just unmute yourself, ask away. I'd be happy to go anywhere you guys want me to do.
I have one question. When you're importing all of your contacts or whatever, and say maybe I want to import everybody, my customers from my Pampered Chef, and then some of my Facebook friends that are my Pampered Chef customers. Do I just do it all at once and see what makes this up? I don't mean what sticks. I don't know.
This is a good point. I'm glad you asked the question. Okay, so here's the optimal way to do it. The first people you want to import are your consultants. So put your consultants in. Now, when you import a list into Teamzy, it'll ask you, are these consultants, prospects, or customers? So we're going to bring your consultants in and say consultants. So they go into the right place. And then all of your customers, present and past, bring those in next, customers. Then bring your Facebook friends in. Now, the reason why I want you to do it in that order, do Facebook third, not first, is because chances are your customers and your consultants are also your Facebook friends, right? But when you bring them in from Pampered Chef, you're getting their address, you're getting their email, you're getting everything. And Facebook, all you're getting is first and last name. Make sense? So we want to do that first so they're in the right categories. Now, what happens is when you bring in your Facebook friends, Teamzy's going to go, oh, well, Linda Salinas is already imported, so we're not going to import her a second time. She's already in there. It won't import them a second time. So you won't create duplicates. Does that make sense? So do your team, then your customers, then your social media accounts last. And that'll cover everybody that you don't have. The cool thing is people are like, oh, Facebook only gives me a first and last name. Yeah, but Facebook also gives you a way to phone call, send videos, send voice messages, send text messages, and post on their wall. Like Facebook gives you more contact method than anything else. Does it make sense? So if that's all you, or Instagram too, if that's all you have is their first and last name, but you know you're connected on Facebook, you can still contact them. And I just want you guys to know that Facebook Messenger is still the most responsive form of communication. It's the most responsive. So you guys, if you're doing, like I showed you Facebook Messenger tonight, if you're messaging people on Facebook, you're probably going to get somewhere between 50 and 80% response, as compared to emailing somebody where you might get between 2 and 6% response. It's a huge difference, right? It's a huge difference. The thing also that I love about messaging on Facebook or Instagram is that you can do it at off hours and people don't notice it until they wake up. Like you don't wake people up in the middle of the night, right? Because I know like Morgan said, 3 boys. Yeah. So like you're probably like me and you need to get it done before 5 a.m. if you're going to get it done at all. So like I always did my power hours like at 4:30 a.m. and then people would wake up later and get the message and start responding. Only one time did somebody go, why do you message me so early? You know, why are you messaging me so early? You woke me up. I'm like, you need to mute that Facebook messages when you go to bed. What are you thinking? And I just said, oh, I'm sorry. You know, I get up early to do my devotional time. And I was just, you know, scrolling through Facebook and thought I'd send you a message. I figured you'd get it when you wake up. So don't worry about it if you have to do it off time too. I just give you guys that little tip because if that happens, that's what you say. Make sense? I figured you were probably asleep and get it later, but I was up and I was scrolling through Facebook or whatever. All right. Who else has a question?
I have a question. I'm Kelly. I would love to know, I'm looking at Constant Contact and I'm looking at you, and I want to know, like, what's the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know, comparatively speaking. And I've, you know, just signed up for their little freebie, you know, I'm looking at yours. I'm just trying to get an idea, and I'll mute myself.
No worries. Yeah. Constant Contact's primary role is to send blast emails. And so blast emails, you know, there's value in blast emails. Just keep in mind that it's the super low response rate, right? So what Teamzy is designed to do is help you message people personally. So it kind of goes back to the, you know, more personal investment of time. Now, I do blast email for Teamzy because I can't message everybody all the time, right? I do a lot of blast email. You guys who are using Teamzy know you get emails from me. But I will tell you that if I get 5% response rate on a blast email, I'm like, that was a good email. You know, like our 5% open rate. If I get like 5% open rate, 15% response rate, 5% open rate, we're like, wow, that was a really good email. Whereas I know pretty much if I message you, you're going to respond to me. Does it make sense? So the highest use of your time is personal messaging. Now, I think in your business, you may need both. You may need Teamzy and Constant Contact, because maybe there's, you know, in my business, I didn't use Constant Contact, but I used MailChimp. And I sent a monthly newsletter that I built for my customers. And so I added that, but I don't think people go, why don't you do that? Why didn't you add that in Teamzy? I go, because people get confused and think that's going to build their business. It'll help as you're building your business, but that's not what's going to build your business, is the blast email. Does that make sense? So
absolutely. And your thing about putting something on your car is 100% true. I put a magnet with my phone number on my car, and you wouldn't believe how good I've been driving this week in Atlanta traffic.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Put Pampered Chef on there. Yeah. Because now you're representing something, right? You're not anonymous anymore. We all need that, right? We all need that. A good friend of mine used to say that we should have paintball cannons mounted on every vehicle. And if people do something rude, you should be able to shoot them with a paintball. And so if you see a car coming like covered in paint, you know, it's a jerk, like to stay clear. I thought that was a really fun idea, but you know, that's an honor system that people wouldn't be using the paintball viciously, right? But you get the idea. But that's true for everything. So I hope that answers your question, Kelly. I don't think there's anything wrong with blast email. I just think that it's a lower return on investment. And I think once your business is cooking, it helps. You know, the more you connect with people, the better. When you're personally connecting with people, say through Messenger, they're going to start seeing your posts on Facebook and Instagram more. So the video, you know, like just doing live videos isn't enough to build the business. But when you're consistently connecting with people and doing live videos, now you've got a captive audience. And then at that point, you know, as you're consistently connecting with people and they feel like they have a relationship with you, and then they get a blast email, they're like, wow, this email's great. And I would say, like, a lot of the blast emails I send, people respond and say, I love your emails. Well, it's probably because they've spent 3 hours on video with me too. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
They've spent time like this with me, and they feel like, you know, people always tell me, I feel like I know you. I feel like you're my friend because I've spent so much time with you on video. So now you're going to get an email from me, and it's going to have more value. Because why? Investment of time. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Who else has a question?
Is there an app, or is this all web-based?
It's web-based, but we have a mobile responsive website. So if you use it on your phone, it's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. You just go to, you know, just in your browser, teamzy.com, and you can bookmark it, and it works great. Most people probably use their mobile phone to do all this. Yeah.
Are we supposed to log like entire conversations, or just that first initial reach out?
It's a great question. And I would say you don't have to log the whole conversation unless you really want to. Now, coming from a corporate background where I worked for somebody else and I was required to log every conversation with clients in the CRM system. How many of you guys have been trained to do that at a job? So that was me. And so when I built Teamzy, I was like, oh man, I got to go into the log. It is nice to have the whole conversation logged, but then I found that I was spending too much time doing the clerical work and less time building. So here's what I'll tell you is important. When you send somebody a message, you need to log it. The reason for that is Teamzy is going to reset that person. So if you're set for every 60 days and I send you a message, now it resets you for 60 days out for the next time I message you, right? So it needs to know that. And then the back and forth. So I send you that message and now we're having a back and forth for 6 days. And let's say it fizzles out and goes nowhere, right? Like we don't get to a share. Well, that was great because we built the relationship. Now you're still 60 days out from that first connect. And you'll come back on my list and I'll be like, hey, it's been a while since we checked in. How are you doing? Right. And so each time it builds the relationship. But if we're talking for a few days now, Bethany, and it turns into a share, now I will go in and log the share. So I would log the share and then, so that you have like those points. If you had a sale, you log a sale differently, but I would come back and log a sale if we got a sale on your record. So that's the other reason why I would want to log the share is because I want you now move to my follow-ups list. So rather than waiting 60 days to talk again, now you're on my follow-ups list because I shared, and now I want to be professional, right? So it goes from kind of being casual to being professional when they get on your follow-ups list. Make sense? It's still friendly because you're still building a friendship, but now it's like, hey, I told you I'd help you, and I'm going to show you that I follow through. Following up, you guys, I didn't get too deep into the follow-ups, but following up is really important because the follow-up is how you show people that you're trustworthy. Does this make sense? People worry about being annoying when they do follow-ups. How many of you guys worry about, like when I say you have to follow up 8 to 10 times, how many of you are like, oh, that might be annoying if I followed up 10 times? Yeah. So let me just talk to you about that really quick because the truth is that the follow-up is how you keep your promise. So when we talked and I said, yeah, I can help you, or yeah, I have a solution for that. And you're like, oh, cool, this is going to be great. And I say, yeah, I'm going to follow up tomorrow and see if you have any questions. When I follow up tomorrow to see if you have any questions, I've kept my first promise. Does it make sense? Every time I follow up, I'm keeping that promise to you. So I don't want you guys to think about following up as being annoying. Think of following up as an act of love. Okay? Following up is an act of love. Now, most people, when you are following up, will tend to not respond. Have you guys noticed this? It's like follow up crickets, follow up crickets, follow up crickets. Like, what am I doing wrong here? Follow up, nothing. So most people won't even respond to maybe the first 6 or 7. I would say on average, the vast majority of people don't respond to the first 6 or 7 follow-ups, which is why most people fall through the cracks in our business because people don't follow up that much. But what will happen if you continue following up is they will eventually thank you. They'll say, thanks so much for staying in touch. I'm so sorry I haven't responded. And they'll unpack all the things that happened. The dog threw up on the baby, we had that ice storm, whatever. They'll tell you all the reasons why they haven't responded, which is just their life happening. And then, but I will tell you guys that a lot of people will, 20% of people will within the first 3 follow-ups will buy, and the rest will take longer. Some people will be on that follow-ups list for 6 months, a year. Have you guys stayed in touch with somebody for a year before they finally convert? Like that happens, but they won't be annoyed if you are doing it. Use my scripts because they follow some simple principles about not being annoying. But it's just about caring consistently. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's take one more question because I know we've been on a long time. I'm going to let you guys go to bed and I'm going to go take care of my kids. Who's got the last word? No pressure. Or if you don't have a question, if you just would like to share something, maybe an insight or something you picked up, that's cool too.
I have one more question. Sorry, this is Kelly again.
Okay.
How worried do I need to be with sharing all that information? I don't want to, put these lists out there and then they go into some major, you know, 12,000 different emails and samples and mail coming.
Are you talking about putting your names into Teamzy?
Yes. Like
Oh, yeah.
it's protected and it's not going to be used for any other reason.
Absolutely not. Yeah. I wouldn't have a business 5 years later if I did that. Right. So
Amen.
yeah, but it's a good question. And if you go to, and nor would Pampered Chef or any other corporate entity allow anyone to use it. If you go into our security, the bottom of our website and look at security, you can see in our privacy policy, basically the data you enter into Teamzy is yours. We don't have any rights to it.
Yeah, good.
And we can't use it in any way possible, or you could sue us and, you could move into my house. The only reason we even have access to it is to do customer service. If you call and say I have a challenge with my account or whatever, we have access. But every single person who works for Teamzy has signed a document, that they have no right to use the data and that they're in big
Yeah.
trouble if they do. Yeah, it's
And
totally
please,
secure.
and please don't think I'm being ugly. It's just one of those where you hear of so many breaches and everything else, and
Yeah,
you kind of like, like I'll put in different letters for my name, and it's amazing how many different things come to my house, and that's the only reason
yeah.
I want to
No,
protect my people.
no, absolutely, 100% agree. We're probably more secure than Gmail if you use Gmail. Not that they are super secure, so that's probably a bad example, but everybody seems to put their contacts in Gmail. But yeah, your contacts are safe. Teamzy is up to date with all the top of the line security, cybersecurity, and all that sort of certification. It sails above my head. Honestly, I can't explain it to you, but I just, the guys keep saying, "Yep, we're 100% industry above industry standard." Okay, great, perfect. So hopefully that helps. And again, anybody who wants a little more detail on that, if you go to teamzy.com and scroll to the bottom, you can click on privacy policy and you can click on security and kind of get more information on that, technical information on that. One thing I do want to just tell you guys real quick before I sign off, because I haven't mentioned price. You can do monthly or annual subscription to Teamzy. It's a subscription software service. And after the free trial, it's $29.99 a month or $298.88 for a year. However, we're doing a special right now for Pampered Chef. So right now you guys can lock in a special rate and you can lock it in forever. We'll never raise it on you. Right now, we're doing $19.99 a month, $19.95 a month instead of $29.99 for the monthly. And then if you would rather do annual, you usually save a couple months that way. It's $198 a year instead of $299.88. So about $100 off the annual. So definitely take a look, check it out. And you can, like if you have a monthly subscription, you can cancel it anytime. It's no big deal, but definitely check that out. And you guys can get a great deal right now. Go ahead, Linda. I see your hands up.
Yeah. If I already have a subscription locked in, the
At the higher
Pampered Chef
price?
special, yeah.
Yeah. Well, just you're stuck.
Oh,
No.
well.
We're like the cable companies. For new customers only. No, just kidding. You know what? Send an email. Linda's email support@teamzy.com
Okay.
and say, hey, I was on a team call with Eric tonight. Is there any way I can get the special deal? And we'll get it adjusted for you.
Okay. Because that annual thing would be really good.
Yeah, 198 is a deal. So just so you guys know, for those of you guys who are new to the business and whatnot, and you're like, well, I haven't paid anything like that before. It's really affordable, especially at $19.95. But also keep in mind, you write that off your taxes. That's a tax write-off, business expense, 100%, which is pretty cool. People don't
And it's
really.
way less than the Constant Contact. You just sold me.
Yeah, you'll pay a lot for Constant Contact if you have a large list. Definitely. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for having me tonight. Hopefully it was helpful to you guys. I did record this. Bethany, I'll get you the recording so you can share it with anyone else on the team who couldn't make it tonight.
Okay.
But I am always grateful for the opportunity to share Teamzy, and hopefully got a few of you excited that there's a way to do this business that's not totally intimidating and soul crushing. And again, thanks for having me. God bless you guys. Have a great night.
Thank you.